The Poor Fisherman and His Wife. On the edge of a quiet coastal village, a poor fisherman named Akram lived with his wife, Sakina, in a small hut that stood precariously close to the crashing waves. Akram spent his days fishing, casting his net into the vast sea, hoping to catch enough to sustain their modest lives. Sakina, ever resourceful, managed their household with care, turning meager catches into meals and patching Akram's clothes when they wore thin. Though they lived in poverty, they shared an unspoken bond of love and hope. But lately, their struggles seemed heavier. The sea had been unforgiving, and Akram often returned home with empty nets. Their hut was falling apart, the roof leaking during every rainstorm. Sakina, though patient, could not help but feel disheartened. One morning, Akram set out before sunrise, his heart weighed down by thoughts of their dire situation. As he rowed his little boat into the open sea, he whispered a prayer, asking for a miracle. Hours passed, and his net remained empty. Just as he was about to give up, he felt a tug. Pulling the net up with all his strength, he was astonished to see a golden fish glistening in the sunlight. The fish spoke in a soft, melodious voice, "O kind fisherman, spare my life, and I shall grant you any wish." Akram was startled but found his voice. "A talking fish. This must be a blessing. I cannot take your life. Go back to the sea and be free." The golden fish disappeared into the waves, but before it swam away, it said, "Whenever you need me, just call for me, and I shall come." When Akram returned home, he told Sakina about the miraculous encounter. Her eyes widened with excitement. "Why didn't you ask the fish for a wish? We could have been freed from this life of hardship." Akram, ever content with little, replied, "I didn't want to be greedy. We have each other, and that is enough." But Sakina's mind began to wander. The next morning, she urged Akram to call the golden fish. Reluctantly, he went to the shore and called out, golden fish, please hear me." The golden fish appeared, its scales shimmering. "What is your wish, kind fisherman?" Akram hesitated before saying, "My wife wishes for a better home, one where the roof does not leak and the walls are sturdy." "Your wish is granted," said the fish, vanishing into the sea. When Akram returned, their crumbling hut was gone. In its place stood a cozy little cottage with a thatched roof and wooden doors. Sakina was overjoyed, but her happiness was short-lived. Days turned into weeks, and she began to yearn for more. "Akram," she said one evening, "why should we stop at a cottage? Call the fish again and ask for a grand mansion with servants to ease my burden." Akram tried to reason with her, but her pleas wore him down. Once again, he went to the shore and summoned the golden fish. The fish appeared, and Akram conveyed Sakina's wish. With a sigh, the fish replied, "It is done." Now they lived in a grand mansion, with sprawling gardens and servants at their beck and call. But Sakina's greed only grew. She demanded Akram ask for more wealth, power, and eventually, she wanted to rule the land. Akram, reluctant but unable to refuse her, went to the sea once more. The sky had turned grey, and the waves were turbulent as he called out to the golden fish. When it appeared, its once bright scales seemed dull. "My wife wishes to become queen," Akram said, his voice heavy with shame. The fish stared at him for a moment before saying, "Go home, fisherman." When Akram returned, the grand mansion had vanished. In its place stood their old, dilapidated hut. Inside, Sakina sat weeping, realizing her greed had undone all their blessings. From that day forward, they resolved to appreciate the little they had. Though their lives remained humble, they found joy in the simple moments, watching the sunrise over the sea, sharing laughter, and being grateful for one another. The golden fish never returned, but its lesson stayed with them forever. True wealth lies not in material possessions, but in a heart content with life's blessings.